Okay, I did not edit a trade journal for Friday, so I'm going to talk about it right now. Let's look at it. At 9 a.m. in the morning, even though I was on the charts earlier, but I would talk about it in pretense that I was there at 9 because I took trade post 9:30. So looking at 9 a.m., this was the daily chart. We had the daily imbalance down here. We had quadrants on it. Amazing rejection from that. The next day we had the buy sell liquidity on top of that, and I was expecting the price to stay below the 0.5 of this wick because I was not expecting a big range. I'm expecting the price to go up next week, which is the upcoming week. This is how the daily looks. At the moment we are bullish, and that's what I expect because we want the buy side to be taken. Let's look at the next. On the hourly, we have this favorably gap that was inversed by the 9 a.m. candle from 8 to 9, and the new 9 a.m. candle opened. We had this is an important favorably gap, and then this green area is a previous important favorably gap that we had noted out on the charts. We took our previous day high, but we are expecting the price to stop here below 0.5, and I would like to target the sell side. Now on the 1 minute chart, I mentioned on my Discord group that we have minor sell side over here with the data lows, and I'm expecting these to be taken, and I will be bullish afterwards. So what happens? Let's talk about how the 1 minute chart looks at the moment. We have all of these stack lows here, and I go back a little bit and I see this whole area looks too smooth to ignore, right? So I noted this side as minor sell side, and then we have another minor sell side here. Now, one more thing you might have noticed that I have added a projection here. What is this projection? This projection is the lowest low and the highest high between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Now, ICT says that we can expect a price to go below or above this range up to 0.5 or 1.5 of the range. So basically, I can expect the price to come down about this area or before it. A little bit below it, but not that much. Same thing applies here, that if the price goes up, if I'm bullish, I can expect the price to stop around somewhere here. So that is what the projection is 1.5 and 0.5 minus 0.5 of the range. Now, one other thing ICT tells that whatever favorably gaps that are made on the quadrant levels and that have specific area, they can play a crucial role up into the day. So based on those quadrant levels, look at this, it is on this. I noted out those favorably gap that looked important to me. I noted out this favorably gap. I noted out this favorably gap. And then later when the market opened, I noted out this favorably gap. Now, I want you to mention that, look at this. We took out this minor sell side. Look at this wick. Look at this price action over here. What happened? We come down into the discount of the range, which into that important favorably gap over here. There is a 100-point move after that. You could have taken this inversion towards this favorably gap. Amazing. Or if you were expecting the price to come back here, you could have taken a short from that price to this favorably gap. See how many opportunities it did. But this was a range where I would suggest not to get involved. I was away from my charts at this particular moment. Otherwise, I would have for sure taken this long towards this first presented favorably gap. So I'm going to talk about it in hindsight. Let's look at it. So we stopped before that area. We took out minor sell side. We took out data low. One more thing I want to add is that we have the Friday opening range gap high over here. We have the Friday opening range gap low over here. And there is a 70% chance of the opening range gap to be filled up to 0.5 of the range, which is this data low area, which was another confluence for me that it should go down into that area and then show a reversal. So we are below it. We are in a deep discount. We are below data lows. Now the price should go up. We have taken out stacked low as well. Look at this. So I put this projection where if I was on the charts, I would have entered on this area over here, 0.5 of the wick. The bodies close above the wick. Some people would have entered on this inversion. Looks like a great rejection. This would be my first take profit. Why? Because this is an important range which has shown support and resistance on both sides of the trades. So I would put one partial here, and then finally I would target the first presented fair value gap. Since we have seen a lot of up and down here, I would not participate too long into this area. Now that would be my trade. Now that's for the morning session. Now we talk about the PM session, in which I actually took trade and I posted it in my Discord as well. Let's talk about it, why I wanted to enter here. Now if you look at it, you see this fair value gap over here, it's right below 714. Look over here, 714. This is the same fair value gap that was used in the morning, right? And then this first presented, and this fair value gap, look, it's so rejection twice, so I brought it up as well over here. So the same fair value gaps I used to frame this trade. What happens is I see that there is a sharp decline here. We took out all this low resistant liquidity. Now I don't expect this price to come back down and take this low. I would rather expect it to make an SMT with ES, which it did over here. That's why I put my stop below this low. No problem at all. I was confident in it. I didn't even look at it. That's why my executions are a little bit messed up, because I was at work and I was just looking at the trade, and whenever I feel like I should partial or I should add a contract, I did it. So this was my limit order that got filled. I had another limit order over here, and then I saw that it was really close to this low, which is the rejection block over here. I said I should add one more contract. I added one more contract, and that's when it started reversing. It went up. I had one limit order over here. I took partial over here. Then I had one limit order over here. After that, when I opened the charts, I was busy somewhere, and then I saw that it's rejecting this area, so I closed my trade. Even though my target was this buy side, I thought that maybe is the end of the week, maybe it will just start consolidating in this range, but it did not. It actually went up on macro on close from the first presented fair value gap, by the way, and took out this buy side, which is interesting to me, because if we do a projection on this range, it will actually go up all the way to here. Let's talk about it for a little bit. So I made this projection for you to understand how strong projections are, right? Look at this. We mark out the 3 p.m. and the last macro before close, and in between that we note out the lowest low, the highest high before the macro, and see what the projection tell us. The projection tell us that this is the 50% of the range, and anything below discount should show us sensitivity towards the premium side. Why? Because we're bullish towards this buy side. We should have a frame, a narrative before doing projection. So before doing projection, my narrative is that we should go towards the buy side, and it can be vice versa, right? So I see the highest high, the lowest low, and I see between the midpoint what is there that can show me a rejection, a support, or a frame towards a trade I want, right? Which is okay. Below, just below the 0.5 of the range, we have this fair value gap, which aligns with the first presented fair value gap over here, right? It comes down, touch that area twice, but see the bodies does not close in those area. They reject it again and again, right? And what do you know? When the macro starts, it goes up full speed towards the buy side. And look this, the projection shows us that it should reach around this area. Remember, I told you, it does not have to be exactly this area. It can be a little bit up, it can be a little bit low. But look at this, it was just below that area over here, 0.5 of the range. Now you tell me it doesn't work. It works perfectly. If I was on the chart, I would have taken this trade. The projection works so much better if you actually look into it. And so for that reason, I will do a whole breakdown of projections Monday through Friday. Tomorrow I'll make a long ass video and using projection I'll frame trades from Monday to Friday of the past week and see how we could have taken trades based on projection. that will help us in the upcoming week. All right, until then, you have a good day.